The Yunus government is now facing heat over youth leader Osman Hadi's murder. In the latest, Osman Hadi's brother now, Umar Hadi, has targeted the Yunus-led interim government in Bangladesh, blaming the government responsible for the murder. Speaking at a public meeting, Umar Hadi said that Yunus government cannot escape the responsibility and that the political murder was a result of the interim government led by Muhammad Yunus' government's bid to derail the elections, which are scheduled to take place in February next year. Remember, there has been massive backlash over Osman Hadi's death, who was a prominent leader of Bangladesh's 2024 student-led uprising. Remember, he was shot in the head on December 12th and later succumbed to his injuries in Singapore 6 days later. Before we tell you more about what's happening in Bangladesh on ground, take a listen to what Osman Hadi's brother had to say.
আপনারা যারা রাষ্ট্র ক্ষমতায় থাকাকালীন অবস্থায় ওসমান হাদিকে হত্যা করা হয়েছে, এই হত্যার দায় আপনারা এড়াতে পারবেন না। যে এজেন্সির হয়ে, যে রাষ্ট্রের হয়ে আপনারা ওসমান হাদিকে হত্যা করেছেন, মনে রাখবেন ওসমান হাদি কোনো এজেন্সি, কোনো রাষ্ট্র, কোনো তাবেদারের কাছে কখনোই মাথা নত করে নাই।
Well, I think Bangladesh is rediscovering its Pakistani roots because this is the Pakistani playbook that they are following. So quite clearly, the regime in Bangladesh, which is an illegal, illegitimate regime, unelected, that is now totally in the Pakistani pocket. For them to overreact to a small demonstration by 15-20 people who obviously felt very strongly about the kind of persecution, not just persecution, it's gross persecution now, of minorities. It's much worse, utterly ridiculous. It's absurd, this kind of an overreaction, but to be expected because absurdity in Pakistan is the same thing, and Bangladesh now rediscovering its East Pakistan roots is towing that line.
Let's tell you more about the Bangladesh turmoil now. What we've been telling you here on NDTV, Hadi's brother, he has now blamed the Yunus-led interim government for his brother's murder. He goes on to say, Sharif, that's what his name is. He says that the Yunus-led interim government, they are now trying to foil elections in February with Umar Hadi's murder. Apart from that, Umar Hadi was the leader of Inquilab Moncho, and now his party has issued a 24-hour deadline for nationwide demonstrations, saying that after December 25th, that's after tomorrow, they will go on protesting all over Bangladesh. Apart from that, India has summoned Bangladesh envoy for the second time in the last few days. Meanwhile, the Yunus government has clearly said that they take full responsibility of Deepu Chandra Das's family. Remember, Deepu Chandra Das is the Hindu man who was lynched in Bangladesh. Apart from that, the United States of America has now written to the Yunus government over the Awami League ban because since Hasina's ouster, her party Awami League has been banned in Bangladesh. Apart from this, there have been a slew of anti-Yunus demonstrations taking place in various cities of India, not just in New Delhi, in Jammu, Kolkata, and other cities as well here in India. And apart from all the political turmoil taking place in Bangladesh, the last important aspect is that today, after 17 years of self-exile, Khalida Zia's son, Tariq Rahman, will return to Bangladesh, and preparations are going on in full swing to welcome Khalida Zia's son. And for more on this, my colleague Aditya is joining me live. I also have with us our guest, Mr. Sen, with us on Prime 5. First to you, Aditya. How is the situation in Bangladesh panning out right now with Umar Hadi's party issuing an ultimatum and Hadi's brother blaming the Yunus government for Umar Hadi's murder?
Well, certainly, Raisha, the situation is deteriorating in Bangladesh. But today, Muhammad Yunus, the chief advisor of Bangladesh, clearly has egg on his face because the Bangladesh government and the narrative that was being peddled by the Islamist radicals in Bangladesh was against India ever since Hadi's But now Hadi's brother himself has come out publicly from the platform of the Inquilab Moncho and said that it is the Yunus government which is responsible for the killing of his brother, Osman Hadi, and they are doing so to derail the election process. So it's amply clear what we knew perhaps and what was an open secret, that Muhammad Yunus perhaps does not want the elections to take place. He does not want the democracy to be restored, and that's why he's trying to deflect the mob mentality and mob narrative against India. That is clearly not going to help because there is no evidence of India's involvement in whatsoever. It's a internal law and order crisis within Bangladesh. On one hand, they are not going to safeguard the minorities, Hindus, Christians, Ahmadiyas and Buddhists. On the other hand, they are not able to safeguard their own activists and political leaders who are now under target of the unknown gunmen. And of course, in this particular case, over the last 10 days or so, there's been no investigation, no probe, and not a single person has been arrested so far in the killing of Osman Hadi. So clearly new, development coming in with the brother blaming the Yunus government. Is it a political killing? Is there someone within the Yunus government who's responsible for this killing and then trying to shield themselves by blaming India? Perhaps there's a lot more that will come in the next few days on this issue.
Right, Aditya, I'm also being joined by Mr. Anjeet Sen, who's a Bangladesh expert. Mr. Sen, your viewpoints of all that's happening in Bangladesh, and do you think that the Yunus government at this point of time actually has control over all that's happening in Dhaka at this point of time?
Thank you for having me. Well, pressure is definitely mounting on Muhammad Yunus, no doubt about that, because yesterday evening, around 7 o'clock Bangladesh time, he had a meeting with the Chief Justice as well as the Bangladesh Army Chief. And the core agenda of the meeting primarily was if the situation warrants, then how can he leave Bangladesh? So that in a way tells the story, because at the end of the day, the government, the so-called interim government headed by Yunus, the conspiracy that has been hatched to do with Sharif Osman Hadi's killing incident, if you remember, the moment it happened, post that within 24 hours, there were large-scale protests against India. But at the end, this was the same people, the same interim government people who said, no, India is fine, we don't think India is part of this. So it clearly shows that the real face of the interim government, number one, and number two, the way the things are panning right now with the Inquilab Moncho going to go to the streets soon, because it's unlikely that they'll be able to rope in with a proper investigation in place. There will be some changes as far as the people in the interim government is also concerned, because there will be two changes also made. But one point which I'd like to definitely clear here, that some way the volatility is building up in Bangladesh, and in the near future, it is but certain that as far as elections goes, it will be pushed back, because that's exactly what Yunus is wanting right now.
Right, Professor Sen. You say that volatility and anger is only building up there in Bangladesh, and this at a time when Khalida Zia's son is set to return to Bangladesh. I want to talk to you more about that, but before that, I want to go across to my colleague Aditya. Aditya, today as well, India summoned the Bangladesh envoy the second time, with ties only getting worse, of course, because of Dhaka's own doing between New Delhi and Dhaka. In a scenario like this, Aditya, what perhaps can be done to stabilize the scenario, if at all?
The ball is completely in the court of Yunus. As Ayanjit also mentioned, in this particular case, there's been a narrative that's been built immediately after Hadi's killing against India. So it does seem that there is somebody internally involved in Bangladesh who does not want peace on the streets, who definitely does not want good ties between India and Bangladesh, and clearly wants to first erase all memories of the liberation of Bangladesh in 71, India's involvement in the liberation of Bangladesh, and also at the same time annihilate and completely erase the memory of Awami League or Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So in this particular case, they are giving the hands of the power in Bangladesh in the hands of not just Islamist radicals, but also Jamaat-e-Islami, an isolated group that has grown exponentially ever since Yunus came under control. So is there some kind of a backdoor deal between the Islamist radicals and Yunus? Perhaps only time will tell. And perhaps time will also tell whether elections can place in a democratic fashion or not. Because Awami League has not been given any mandate till now. They are banned completely. And the narrative is against India. So as of now, Hadi has raised questions on Yunus government, and they'll have to answer.
Right, Aditya, thanks for getting us the latest, and thanks to you as well, Professor Sen. All right, we're staying on with the story. We have some breaking news for you at this point of time. VHP stirred against Bangladesh Hindu persecution. VHP protest in Lucknow and Maharashtra. In Lucknow, let's tell you what happened in Lucknow, as there have been anti-India demonstrations taking place in Bangladesh, and after the lynching of a Hindu man, Deepu Chandra Das, in Bangladesh, in Lucknow, Yunus's effigy was burned by demonstrators. In Maharashtra as well, the flag of Bangladesh was set ablaze. There have also been anti-Bangladesh slogans being raised. Remember, yesterday India erupted in anger, and there were a slew of demonstrations taking place in India against the Yunus regime, and that's after Deepu Das Chandra, who was killed, a Hindu man who was lynched in Bangladesh a few days ago. But the latest coming at this point of time is that there have been protests taking place in Lucknow and in Maharashtra. In Lucknow, Yunus's effigy was burnt, and in Maharashtra there were anti-Bangladesh slogans which were raised, and also the flag of Bangladesh was also burnt. Well, those are the visuals on your screens right now of the flag being burnt, of these anti-Bangladesh, anti-Yunus demonstrations taking place in various cities across India. We've been getting you those visuals from Lucknow and Maharashtra, and this, of course, after a Hindu man, Deepu Chandra Das, who was lynched in Bangladesh. The Yunus government has said that they take responsibility of Deepu Chandra Das's family, but there have been no arrests made so far in Deepu Chandra Das, a Hindu man who was lynched in Bangladesh. Not just that, there have also been a slew of anti-India demonstrations taking place in Bangladesh, an anti-India narrative which is now being peddled by the Yunus government. And after all that's happening in Bangladesh, in India, there have been demonstrations which have erupted against the Yunus-led regime in Bangladesh.